Alright, so this is the self-watering container that I've made with a black 5-gallon bucket. This is a regular Home Depot bucket. You can tell that they're the exact same size, except this one is all black. I just cleaned it out. The soil that was in here was peat moss based. It was very old, and I'm just going to use that for soil blocking, and I'm going to go with a coconut based peat moss. The goal for these planters with the soil is to use it for a couple years and then use that soil for seedlings and starting seeds, transplanting seeds that sprouted. So it's going to be like a little factory of potting mix that I can tap into when I'm not using them. And I do this with these 5-gallon buckets because it's very small. If you're gonna have like a living soil that you're never gonna replace, you should go with the biggest planter that you can fit in the space that you're working with. The intention with this is to grow peppers and tomatoes in them so I can clone them, so I can have some other plants for the upcoming spring season and clone them. And if I have enough buckets, because I have a set of these buckets, some of them are red 5-gallon buckets and some of them are black. I think I even have some white ones. These are my favorite, the black ones. But anyway, if I have the space for it in terms of the plant count, I am gonna try to do a auto flowering journal in the veg tent. This is my veg tent. So I'm gonna show you guys how I make these planters. These are some clay pots. Let me measure them so we can see. So this is a 4-inch tall pot, about 4.5-inch round. So these are the wicking chambers. They're going to get filled with potting soil, and the space around them is going to be lava rock. This is a PVC pipe. Pretty sure this is 3/4 inch. I cut a 45-degree angle right here on the end of it. I did it with my Leatherman. That's going to allow the water to come out of the planter and it won't get clogged with the potting soil. You face it, the cut down like that, then have it stick out about 1 inch. And I can make this shorter, but it's nice to have it stick out from the planter because you can collect it in a cup, the overflow. So this is the basic setup. I pretty much use the 4-inch clay pot. These are 4-inch tall, 4.5-inch at the top, right? Round. The diameter is 4.5. The length of it is 4 inches. So it's about a 4-inch water reservoir. And that will last for about 3 to 4 days. So it cuts down the watering, especially if you're flowering with these plants. But if you're growing like veggies, it'll go for sure like 7 days inside. You know, outside it's in the summers and be every day. But again, if you're gonna do this outside, you should go with the bigger planter. Don't use PVC if you're doing it outside. This PVC is inside, is not degrading. So that is something you have to watch out with the PVC. If you use this stuff outside, it's going to start to degrade and get into your potting mix. As you can tell, even though this was full of dirt, it's not yellowing. It's not, it's just dirty from the dirt, even though I washed it. So I washed all the stuff, some of the dirt is stained on there. But for the most part, it's perfectly fine. It's not gonna leach any chemicals if it's not exposed to the sun. So outside I use copper tubes. This is what I use in my outdoor self-watering containers, and this is from the old style that I used to do where I would have a fill tube, but now I just cut them so that they're sticking out, and I'll cut it like right here. But I still have a bunch of these copper tubes that I use in self-watering containers outdoors. So this is from back in the day when I was doing it with 5-gallon buckets with my old design, or the design that I guess everyone thinks of when they think of a self-watering container. But I just like watering it like a regular planter. The water just goes into the bottom and it collects there, and then it will water the plants again. So this is how I like to do it. Okay, so start getting so you want to pack the rocks into the base. And I gotta get it in that in-between spot. Any space that you leave open is going to get filled in with potting soil. So any space I leave open is going to get filled in with potting soil. So it's really important for me to get it very compact. So I'll stick rocks in little nooks and crannies. I'll move rocks around. That corner right there needs more. So these lava rocks I get from a landscaping yard, and I haven't gotten in a while, but last time I got it, it was $50 a yard, so I would just get half a yard in my truck, and that would be more than enough for a long time. I haven't bought it in years. What I do is I have a sifter, and I sift my potting mix, because there's perlite in there too, and I'll put it in a bucket. And you can tell there's little perlite pieces. There's little perlite pieces on here. But this was from my potting soil, and I screened it until I had enough rocks for what I was doing. So whenever I need lava rock, I can just screen my potting mix and harvest the lava rock that I need. You can see there's still like little roots on here. So that's what I do. I just if I need lava rock, I harvest it from my potting soil, which already has tons of lava rock, and I'm good to go. Okay, so this is what it should look like. It should look something like this. So now I'm gonna fill. I have some leftover potting mix that I'm gonna throw in here, and it's a perlite based potting mix. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a perlite in this container, and the reason for that is because I might use it for autoflowers, and I've never grown autoflowers, and I don't know if chunky lava rock would mess with the taproot. So this is a potting mix that I made for my cell trays. So the regular cell trays for starting seeds, the 7-2 cell trays, and this is what's left over. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in here. There is some lava rock in here, but it's the small lava rock. When I sift it for the large rocks like this. So I took all the large rocks out of this, and this is part of what I used. So there is going to be some lava rock in here, but not that much. So I'm gonna just set this aside until I'm ready for it, which will be probably a couple weeks, because I'm gonna I need this for in the immediate future. I'm not gonna do any autoflowers. I'm gonna use this for veggies because I need to clone chiltepin and tomatoes so I can make some money. So I'm gonna use this for my business. It's gonna be chiltepin and tomato planter. Once I get through the season, because this is the beginning of the season. It's the beginning of February. It's the first week of February. So I've already planted my seeds last week. So as they sprout, I'm gonna transplant them. Once they're ready to plant, maybe in 3-4 weeks, I'm gonna throw them in here. And once this plant takes off, I'm gonna clone it like crazy and just keep cloning it. And I might even have to replace it if it's not re-vegging how I would like it to. So I'm gonna show you guys the whole process. But for right now, we're not ready for it. The seeds are still growing, so I'm gonna put it to the side, and we're gonna get going with our soil blocking. I need to empty this out so I can make some soil blocking soil.